Hi, I'm Missy with On William Street. This week we figured Halloween is coming and it's one of those holidays that we love, so we wanted to share a treat with you. So no tricks, this is just a treat for you for this week. So we created this fun little mug rug. So it's got our little threesome of pumpkins on here that we're going to sew together with you, and you can get the pattern for this fun little project in our subscriber library, which you can find on our website. So let's go ahead and we're going to show you how to put this fun little project together. So this is a simple little project that is really just scrap friendly. So just pull out your scraps, your oranges. You're going to need a little bit of green. We've got some different oranges in here to put together our pumpkins and a background, and you can choose whatever colors you want. And then it is going to have 4 different pieces as part of the paper piece pattern for this, which again, like I said, you can find in our subscriber library. Okay, so we're going to start off with our A piece. We're going to do A1, 2, and 3. And you want to make sure that you've got pieces cut big enough. And if you've never done paper piecing before, we do have tutorials on our website, so you can check that out. But you want to make sure as you're cutting this that your pieces are going to be big enough to cover that piece as well as your seam line. So we're going to fold this over, and we also want to make sure that we've got a big enough piece for our little stem next to it. So I've cut this. Make sure you've got your 1/4 of an inch. We're going to take our little stem. I know this is going to cover it. I cut a very large piece, so we're going to lay this next to it. So they're lined up together, and then we're going to take it over to our machine and sew along that line. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and just sew right along this line. And with paper piecing, you are going to sew just directly onto the paper. And then we'll give that a good finger press and then add our next piece. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut our 1/4 inch here so we know where to line up this next little A3 piece. So fold that over. I'm going to cut 1/4 inch off, and then we've got our next little piece. We can line that up right there, and then we can take it back over to the machine and sew that line between A2 and A3. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and sew that little line. And then give that a good little finger press. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and continue on with the rest of this piece. So we're going to move on to A4, A5, A6, and A7 and finish this piece out. Okay, so this piece is complete, so we're going to go ahead and trim that. Make sure that you don't cut that seam allowance off as you're trimming that. Okay, and then we are ready to move on to section B. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get started on section B. And one thing that you're going to want to pay attention on this one is there are 2 pumpkins included in section B. So it's this little section down here at the bottom. So you'll want to make sure that you're putting your oranges in the correct place as you're sewing along that. So go ahead and finish that up, and then we'll move on to section C and D and then put these little pumpkins together. Okay, so now that we've got all 4 sections sewn together, we are going to sew each of those sections to each other. So you're going to want to line up your papers. And you can take your paper off before you do this, or you can leave it on. Sometimes it's nice to leave it on because it just helps you make sure that your edges stay nice and firm while you sew those pieces together. Okay, so now all the paper has been removed and this is all sewn together. We want to go ahead and give this a really good press before we add the borders. So this is going to finish at about 3.5 by 6.5. And then we have a 1.5 by 6.5 and a 4.5 by 6.5 to add to that, and that's going to give us about a 6 by 8 inch mug rug. So now your mug rug top is finished. You can go ahead and add your batting and backing to that and quilt it up in any way that you would like. You can get this pattern in our free subscriber library on our website, so don't forget to check it out and see the other things that we offer there as well. And we hope you have enjoyed this little treat for Halloween. Go ahead and get your mug rug sewn up. Share. If you're going to share them on Instagram, make sure you tag us. We would love to see what you're sharing. Make sure you subscribe to our video as well so that you don't miss anything coming up. And we will see you next week.